How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the homestead. It's an absolutely gorgeous evening out here, and we're going to go through and give you guys a whole garden update and tour, not just here in the main garden, but also over in the OG, the original garden. We've been growing in that, or planting in that rather, so we're going to update you there. We also have a bit of a chicken update, so we're going to show you guys them. Let's get to it. Look at all those beautiful rows full of food. You can see I still need to do a little bit of weeding here on one of the onion rows, but thankfully all of the potatoes seem to have survived that frost we had last month. I was really worried it was taking them quite a while to pop up, but they're all looking great. Honestly, probably better than last year about the time that they were sprouting up. They are looking just phenomenal. And take a look at this garlic. Massive, just absolutely massive. Here's my hand for comparison. I changed the settings on the GoPro so it doesn't have the fisheye lens anymore. That way you could kind of get a better perspective. This thing is huge. These garlic stalks are huge. They're of course at the end of the row, and this is towards the end of the hill. So logically speaking, as the rain and all the water drops and pours on the top of the row, it's going to carry the nutrients from the top down towards the bottom of the rows. That's why we're seeing such vigorous growth towards the bottom of the rows as compared to the top. That's just my theory, but we're also seeing something a little bit similar on the other garlic row as well. And look at this. Somehow, some way, I got some wild red miner's lettuce inside one of the garlic rows. Isn't that just beautiful? I love miner's lettuce. I need to add that to a salad. And as good as these garlic plants are looking, we are having a couple problems. Number one, the end of the leaves are starting to turn not just yellow, but also black. It almost looks like they're rotting away. Now that's not on every single one, but that's on the vast majority of these. Not too concerning, being as we're only about a month away from harvest, so they are eventually going to turn yellow. And it's also not too concerning because at any point I can harvest these and use the garlic, whether it be green or whether I dry it out. That's not really a concern at this point. So I will get a harvest. It's just the fact that, you know, if I wanted to see it all the way through, get full-size bulbs, we'll see. I'm not totally sure if that's going to happen. Now over here, if we look at the onions, kind of the same thing happening. Having yellowing of the ends, and that is supposed to happen. Once again, they are supposed to yellow. They are also supposed to fall over, but I don't think it's supposed to happen this early. This is the first time I'm trying to plant onion sets, so if they totally fail, I'm not going to be too upset about it, though of course I would prefer if they perform well. And last but not least, here in the main garden, we have the raised bed full of strawberries, and you can see that they're looking pretty good. Definitely not counting my chickens before they hatch, but they sprouted up and they're looking very, very healthy. That said, I am still having to weed here and there, and some of the weeds are actually potatoes that I wasn't able to pull out of the ground, or just missed pulling out of the ground rather. So every once in a while, about once a week, I have to come out here and weed the garden, not just for weeds, but also for potato sprouts. Let's get this guy all the way out of there. There we go. But nevertheless, the strawberry plants are just looking phenomenal. And I'm very happy that I planted this overflow row instead of either discarding the root starts or planting them somewhere else, because like, look at this guy. Comparing that to the root start, that's pretty damn good. For those of you wondering what this guy might be in between the rows, that's a wild strawberry that I transplanted from off the property. We'll see if it grows, but I figured I'd give it a shot nevertheless here in the strawberry bed. I should also mention before moving over to the OG that these 3 logs here are going to be for another raised bed I'm planning on building. It's going to be a little bit longer than the first one we built, though a little bit skinnier. That way it's going to be easier for me to pick whatever I plant in that raised bed. And thankfully we're not going to need as many logs, being as these are pretty big in comparison to the ones that we used over here. Over here in the OG is where myself and a couple of my friends planted the 16 pounds of seed potatoes I had bought as a backup. And we did it right here in the kind of horseshoe shaped section where I planted the first ever potatoes, and it was a total flop. So let's see if these do better than the first time I grew any potatoes. Now we had a few extra of not only the ones that I had bought, but also the huckleberries. So I decided to plant them here in this little section and also top dress it with some compost. I'm not sure how it's going to work out. I know that nitrogen isn't necessarily something that potatoes need a lot of, but I figured it couldn't hurt, so I tossed some on top. Now continuing on, we have a couple pepper plants that I just put in the ground, as well as a few tomato plants. We have 2 Sun Gold, we got 1 Sweet 100, and 2 Early Girls. Hopefully they all grow. I haven't had too much success with tomatoes or peppers in the past, but I think that's because I planted them too early, similar to my potatoes, of course. But I think these are going to do okay since I'm planting them all the way in June. Now I also planted 2 raspberry plants and 2 blackberry plants. I'm still waiting on the ones that I ordered, but I got these for a very, very cheap price, cheaper than anywhere else I've seen them. Plus they were also on sale. All of these plants were on sale, so how could I pass it up, right? Now I added not just all-purpose fertilizer, but also compost that you can see, and some acid mix, which is a specific like berry blended to add to soil to make it a little bit more acidic for berry plants. It's from Down to Earth. Love that brand, definitely trust it. So I just added a little bit both here and over there. And my plan after these tomato plants are done growing is eventually turn this entire row, if you want to call it that, it's kind of a key shape or a spiral shape, going around and then coming here. I want to make all of this blackberries and raspberries. So if you're concerned that having raspberries or blackberries right next to my tomato and pepper plants and having acidic soil or too acidic soil, whatever your concern may be, I think it's going to be fine, at least for the first season. I am gonna trellis these somehow, not totally sure how. Probably just going to be using some T-posts in the corners, you know, one there, each of the corners, and then run some wire in between. We shall see. And I mentioned we have a chicken update, but it looks like one of them's missing. What happened? If you own chickens, you may have guessed where that one went. We have a broody hen. Now she's been broody for, about 3 weeks, give or take. But she's only had eggs for almost 2, about 2. I gave her 6, and we are down to 1, unfortunately. It is fertilized, but we are only on 1 egg at this point. Let's see if I could show you that 1 egg without disturbing her too much. Ah, mama. Set it down, set your egg down. There you go. So there's her 1 egg. I don't want to mess with it because, of course, she's been turning it and doing a really good job. And you can see that she's not too happy with me picking her up. But nonetheless, we are on 1 egg. With any luck, it will give us a chick, hopefully. That's all I got for you in this video, you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. It was definitely short, sweet, and to the point. But nonetheless, if you enjoyed, please leave it a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I have over 10 different videos planned on various different topics. So if you've enjoyed anything I've posted recently, I encourage you to subscribe. And please share the video with someone you think also might enjoy it. I say it all the time, but it's the truth. YouTube doesn't promote my videos in the algorithm, so I rely on you guys to share them, and I really appreciate it when you do so. And like always, please comment down below with any comments or questions you may have. And with that, thank you for watching. Think for yourself, shoot straight, and I will see you next time.